Hello YouTube, my name is BassWiz and today we're going to be talking about the Promised Neverland Manga chapter 152. There will be spoilers for the Promised Neverland in this video. If you are not caught up, do that before watching. Without further ado, let's get into it. Quite honestly, this chapter shocked me quite a bit. I was not expecting Queen Regavalima to be going down this chapter. I said as much last week during my review then, and the fact that this is happening right now is honestly a bit shocking to me. We did get to see Zazi's face as I predicted last week, but that's not the focus of this chapter. I was expecting Zazie to go down and Regavalima to still be alive. In my eyes, she seemed like the final boss, sort of. And now that she's gone, I'm not so sure what's going to happen after this. All we really have left is finding out what the promise that Emma made is. That whole deal with the Rattray clan, they have been suspiciously absent during all of this. I would have assumed, as people who are tasked to watch over the demons, because of the last promise that was made with Symbol, that they would have some part in the Tifari. I've been thinking this for a while and they have been absent, which is very strange to me. And then we need to find out what is going to happen between Norman and Emma, which I believe is going to be starting next week because of what just happened at the end of this chapter. We do get some more backstory on Queen Regavalima, how in a sense she was a bit jealous of Symbol. And for those new to the channel, I call this character Symbol because we have never gotten a pronunciation for that. So I've always just gone by Symbol. People seem to like the name. It kind of stuck, but that's beside the point. She always was a bit jealous of Symbol because he always seemed to get the best quality meat. Whenever she heard of the fact that best quality meat is grown at plantations, she instantly became fixated on people like Norman. And why would she not? Norman is a brilliant person, especially since she knows that Norman is the one that orchestrated everything. Norman is a brilliant person. Ever since he was a kid, he's been a brilliant person. She was the reason that Norman was put into Lambda. Whenever she heard that Lambda was destroyed, apparently she got into a fit of rage because she thought she lost the opportunity to eat Norman. In her mind, Norman is food made for her. She doesn't want to share it with Symbol. She doesn't want Symbol to have him. At hearing this, Norman is understandably pissed off and he orders Zazie to kill her, which, yeah, I can't really blame him for. She literally wants to eat him. The most interesting part of this chapter, though, for me, is not the fact that Regavalima died. It's not the fact that we got to see Zazie's face. No, the most heavily impacting part of this chapter for me is definitely near the end, where we see as soon as Regavalima is dead, he starts to reflect upon himself. We see this represented as he's about to do it, he sees an illusion of a younger Emma tugging at his sleeve, almost as if to say, "Don't do it, you're better than this." And the really surprising part is not only does he see a young Emma, he sees a younger self. He sees himself behind that younger Emma, whereas Emma is embracing him, trying to stop him. His younger self stands back, almost in fear of what the adult Norman has become. Now, this is extremely powerful symbolism. It implies that Norman knows that what he is doing is a scary thing, a bad thing, but adult Norman thinks it is necessary to do. He is becoming a martyr for the sake of everyone else. And he feels, in a sense, that he has lost himself. Even though he won't outwardly say this, we can heavily imply this by the fact that his younger self is scared of what the adult Norman has become. And right when Emma enters the throne room, right when she sees this literal sea of corpses, this knee-high trench of dead bodies before her, Norman, I assume filled with guilt, he just looks at her and all he can say is, "I'm sorry, Emma, you were too late." And by that, I think it has a double meaning. He didn't say this maliciously. He didn't say it in a supervillain type way where it was like, "You were too late to stop my plans." No, he meant it as, "I'm sorry, Emma, you were too late to save me from myself." And that's what I'm getting from this chapter, that Norman is self-sacrificing and he's under immense pain and he doesn't like what he's doing any more than Emma does. Next week is going to be a really emotionally driven chapter. I know tears are going to fall, not only between the characters but probably the fandom as well. I want to know what you guys have to think about this chapter. Drop a like if you like what I do here. Subscribe if you want to hear more from me and see more manga reviews such as The Promised Neverland. Subscribe to my Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And that will be it for me today. Peace.